So today's video is sponsored by ARRTX. I think that's how you pronounce their name. I'll put it on the screen. So this box has been in my closet waiting to be opened for a really long time. And I am honestly embarrassingly late with this video. Like, it should have been out mid-August latest, because there's a giveaway going on and the deadline is August 30th.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Anyways, to make things more embarrassing, my barbaric younger siblings cut through the box. Even though I warned them like a million times, I have stuff coming, you know? Anyways, they tore through this box like wild animals and deprived us of what would have been a very aesthetically pleasing unboxing. So feel free to bully them down below in the comment section. Yeah. Anyways, so ARRTX is having a 7th anniversary celebration, which is why they sent me these supplies to review. And they're also having an event, which will be linked in the description below. The deadline for the event is August 30th, unfortunately. So I'm cutting it so close, which is like decreasing the chance of people joining. But if you're watching this video and it's not August 31st, sorry, my sister's coughing in the background.
Do you want me to leave?
Yes. Thank you. If it's not August 31st and you're seeing this of 2022, you can head down to the description and join. Oh my God. One final cough before she leaves. She's doing it on purpose. Don't feel sorry for her. Okay, so this is me from the future. I finally made an appearance. I'm so embarrassed. Like, it's a mess. I'm so sorry for not getting this video out on time. I fell really sick this month, and also a lot of things were happening. So like traveling and a bunch of other things. So yeah, unfortunately, I just couldn't get it out any sooner than this. But I hope you guys still enjoyed the video. Anyway, so this next section of the video is the unboxing part. So I know some people don't really like watching unboxing, so if that's the case, feel free to skip to the next section. So here I am ripping the box open in this footage, and I was actually talking while doing this, but I ended up muting the footage because it was really cringe. Anyways, the first thing I got from ARRTX was this 72 set of colored pencils, and it comes in this really, really cute package. I love the packaging for this set here. ARRTX is actually really good at packaging, I've noticed. Like, even some of their marker sets, it's just so beautiful. And one of the highlights about this colored pencil set specifically is the way they're held, like the format. Basically, instead of just a tin box with a bunch of trays, they're all just standing up there, which I think is really clever. And it was actually really fun to use, as you'll see later on in the video. Now, the next thing I got from ARRTX is this set of 40 Oros, I think it's pronounced, brush markers. These are a set of earth tones, I think, but I'll double check that. Anyways, it comes with a swatch sheet, as you can see here, some instructions and stickers. The swatch sheet looks really nice. Like, there's these little hexagons. I personally hate swatching on my own, so the sheet really helped me. Anyways, next there's actually a marker stand, which was a first for me. I never had a marker stand. Like, my Ohuhu markers, which is the only brand I have, they're just in the little cloth bag. But yeah, here's a closer look at the marker and a comparison with the Ohuhu marker. The plastic feels a lot cheaper for the ARRTX marker, but it's a bit longer, and overall I don't mind the cheaper plastic. Anyways, next up is the bag that they give with this set. Personally, I don't think I'll use this bag, but it looks nice and it's pretty cool to have. Like, if I'm ever traveling and want to bring my markers, that would be nice to have. Okay, so in this next section of the video, I'll be setting up and swatching all of the markers. But if you'd rather skip this part, feel free to go ahead to the next section of the video, which is when I start actually drawing, or, well, preparing to draw, I think. So yeah. Anyways, I kind of talk about the color selection and whatnot later on in the video, so I won't talk about it during this part, and I'll just let you guys enjoy the swatching in peace for the most part. Actually, the swatching is almost done, so I pretty much ruined this part for you guys. Sorry about that. So here's all the colors together. This color scheme is so beautiful. And like, even though this orange kind of looks out of place, it still somehow fits. But I'm in love with this color scheme right here. Now, some of these colors down here, like the super pale ones, they kind of look similar, but there's a difference. Like, this is way more yellow than the baby pink and even the peach. But these two are super similar. And these two are pretty similar as well. So yeah, a lot of these caps are actually like this, and this. They're actually too dark for the colors they bring out. But I don't mind. Like, I'm actually so happy they ended up this pale. Also, for the first time in my life, I'm seeing some really nice like green markers. This one here, this one. Even the walnut color has a very nice green tint. And I finally have a huge array of browns, like yellow browns, red browns, like almost like gray browns. And oh yeah, finally, I think the thing that made me second happiest after this olive green is the fact that there's so many nice yellows. These are the goldy yellows that I really love and have been missing. Even the lemon yellow, it's so like saturated. It's not green and pale and ugly like the Hoo-Hoo marker one. I feel bad ripping on a Hoo-Hoo right now, but honestly, this was so nice. Alright, so now that I'm done swatching and trying out and introducing these new products, I wanted to talk a little bit about the topic for today's video. So today's video is the first in a series that I want to make on my channel. I don't know what it's called yet. I was about to say what it was called, but I don't know. Basically, I want to make a series of character design videos where I design like characters and their environments, sort of. And I don't want it to be confined to just my sketchbook. So I do have a series on my channel called Sketchbook Session, which is basically all I've been posting this summer, except for like maybe 1 or 2 videos. And basically this character design series video will be an opportunity to like work in my sketchbook still, but also potentially branch out to bigger pieces of paper and other materials, you know? So yeah, that's why it's not a sketchbook session, it's just a completely separate series. Now, today's video, I think I'm gonna stick to my sketchbook. And the reason for that is because I'm kind of in a rush and I don't have time to make like a huge illustration. So I think I'm gonna stick to my sketchbook for this first character design session. Use the markers and colored pencils to make the character, and yeah, it'll be fun. Okay, so I have my iPad here and I collected a bunch of reference photos on Pinterest. The prompt that I ended up choosing, I didn't just pick like a random prompt. I actually just read through all of them and picked one that I felt inspired by. But yes, I picked 2 prompts and I'm gonna combine them together. The first one is grunge fairycore, which I thought was really interesting because it's not just fairycore, it's grunge fairycore. I'm excited for that one. And then the second prompt that I'm gonna combine with it is Scarecrow, which again, I think is really cool. And it actually fits very well with grunge fairycore. I definitely wanna draw a girl character. I don't know, I just think drawing girls is more fun, to be honest. So yeah. Okay, so I collected a couple of photos on Pinterest. So here's the Pinterest board I made. I keep my Pinterest account private or like secret because I don't know, I don't want to feel any stress at all with Pinterest as a social media sort of thing. When I'm currently doing something, I of course, like, I totally don't mind sharing the exact photos that I'm using and stuff like that. So here it is for this video. I was thinking, because of like the whole grunge part, grunge gives me like modern vibes. So like maybe this character is a little bit modern. Maybe she's like out of her usual world or something, in a fairy world, but human. I don't know, something like that. And that could be why she's wearing a Scarecrow mask. So yeah, anyways, there's a bunch of like fairy houses because I really love the tiny fairy houses where you can like tell that it's very minuscule, you know? Love that. And then yeah, just a bunch of houses. Farmhouse vibes because of Scarecrow. And then we have a bunch of scarecrows. Now this one is by an artist, Alexander Trufanov, I believe, from ArtStation. It looks amazing. Like, I love the rendering here. Here are some like actual scarecrows. This one here looks awesome. Lots of creepy inspiration. I love this one. It still looks like it's still giving fairy vibes, you know, with the patched pants and the not too creepy face. But yeah. Also, here's like some more fairy stuff. Just like the cuter aspect of fairy core. So here's the part of the video where I actually start drawing. Finally. I wanted to show a lot more of the preparation I do before making an artwork. So that's why I showed all the reference photos on Pinterest. And now I'm showing the concept sketches for this character. So this was actually my first attempt at the character. I wanted to make the character like lanky and tall at first because that just screamed Scarecrow in my head. And as you can see here, I almost entirely depend on that one reference photo, the cute Scarecrow. I based the entire outfit off of that one. Okay, so I'm back with this video after a couple of days. And the reason I left it off for so long is that I really hate this design. I don't know, it's not the vibe I was going for at all. So what I think I'm gonna do is, like, I don't think the drawing's ugly, but I just don't like this initial design. But it's a little bit dishonest to like glue it covered. So I'm actually gonna use the papers from my last video to just make like a flap on top of it, and I'll draw on top of that flap. Okay, I'm back with the voiceover, and some of you will be happy to know that I end up not covering up the original drawing. I really like how the character looks. It's not the exact look I wanted in this character or personality, but it was a nice first attempt, and honestly, it's impossible to get a character right on the first try. So here you can see my second attempt, and you can see that I made the character a lot younger and more mischievous looking, more scruffy as well. And yeah, I really like this design a lot better for the specific character. Okay, so here's the second sketch. I'm worried the glare is a bit too strong. But yeah, here's the second sketch. I'm a lot more happy with it, but obviously this is not fairy core or Scarecrow related, to be honest. This is her probably in her human form. But yeah, I wanted to make her younger and more mischievous looking, even though that's kind of a stereotype. I don't care. It's a true stereotype. I have a younger cousin who like is giving me these vibes. So it's based on reality, which is why I'm more comfortable making a character like this. Yeah. Anyways, now that I have her in her basic human form, now I can, and like I'm getting some personality out of her and whatnot. Now I can start converting her into a fairy core Scarecrow. I honestly don't know what that is. I think the part that's messing me up is that there's too many prompts. That's a problem that I encounter a lot when doing character design. I put too many things into it and it becomes cluttered. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the fairy core aspect from her design. Maybe she lives in a fairy world and she needs to disguise herself as a scarecrow. I don't know. That's the story I'm kind of going with. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird story. It needs some working out. But yeah, I can't wait to make her scarecrow costume. So after pasting that drawing on the page, I start working on the actual Scarecrow costume. I started off with just like a head drawing of like the mask and whatnot. So yeah, it's pretty simple. The thing I liked about this original sketch is the fact that her like gap tooth is showing, like her little mouth is showing through the crack. Kind of unrealistic how her eyes and nose happen to not be showing, but I'll leave that to fairy core science. Anyways, here I'm using a piece of Strathmore tone tan paper to cover the second page. And the reason I did this is so that I could use markers on the other side without staining any of the sketches. So here's the first ever sketch of the character with the full outfit. I decided to dress her in a poncho because I felt it was really unique, and also my younger sister has a poncho, so that really inspired it. Also, I just feel like it's a nice change from the classic overall and trench coats Scarecrow design. So it really makes this character stand out in a way, I feel. So I think I'm gonna stick with this design for this video. I might give her some gloves. Anyways, right now I'm going to be using these colored pencils on the tone 10 paper. So this is actually like Strathmore tone 10 paper, so I know it's good quality and it's meant to take colored pencils. So like there's no question about the paper, or at least there shouldn't be. All right, so here I'm sketching out the character again, but this time without the mask on. I have to admit, I don't really like her expression here. I feel like I took away the previous charm and lightheartedness of the character. Like, I made her a little too serious, but that's okay. Like, I still really love this drawing. I think it's cute. Also, this was my first attempt at the color scheme for the character, and it ends up changing dramatically. So down here, I'm doing a little thumbnail sketch again to try and get back the cuteness of the character. And here I'm trying out another color scheme. I still don't go with this color scheme. I don't know. I was just testing things out and playing around with it, the poncho design and whatnot. Also, the colored pencils and the markers both worked amazing on the tone 10 paper. So that was really nice. Okay, so I cut out and then I folded this thing. And I really want to put it here. I love how these feet look. Like, it's just such a cute shape. So I didn't want to cut that off. I'm not particularly attached to the bottom part of this drawing. I just think the top part looks really cute. So I think I'm gonna glue it like this. So I could put this down and view all this. But then fold it in like this, I guess. It kind of covers a lot. Maybe, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay, so this is the first spread for this video in my sketchbook. I actually really like how it's laid out. I think it looks really cute. Also, I'm surprised by how nice the markers look on the toned paper. Like, that was fun. Okay, so at this point, I was pretty happy with how the character was looking. I was satisfied with the design overall. So I started doing some concept sketches for the final artwork for this video. So the first concept was just the tree house, like the ones I showed on Pinterest. It's just a little house, but then I realized that I didn't know where to fit the character in this composition, and that I would prefer to do a landscape. So this second sketch that you're seeing here is that concept. I basically put the character up on the foreground and I put the house all the way back in the background. So I'm really happy I went with that idea because I usually find it really hard fitting a character on one page. Like, usually the pose ends up being really stiff, or like the arms and legs end up too short. As you can see here, I still struggle with that. Like, I end up erasing the legs 3 million times and making the arms longer. It's just really hard, especially with the sketchbook this small. So yeah, really happy I changed the design, because trying to squish the character onto a portrait with the house being the focal point, we wouldn't have enjoyed the character. Like, she wouldn't have shined in the artwork. So yeah, here is the character just in the foreground with a bunch of corn leaves behind her. And I even added a pet crow, some baskets and other cool things at the foreground. And then in the background, all the way pushed back, is the fairy house. So yeah. Also in the foreground on the other side of the page, I added some more leaves just to make the composition a little interesting. And yeah, I started coloring it with the markers. So I'm really happy to report that the markers did not bleed through the tone 10 paper on the other side of the paper, because that would have been really sad. So the markers worked amazing, and I honestly cannot stress enough how much I love this color scheme. Like, even though coloring the leaves was kind of a pain, It was also so fun, and the colors just worked seamlessly with each other. So that was great. I have to admit though, it was really hard like coloring all of these leaves. It was a lot, but it would have been so much more painful if I used watercolors, I have to admit. Another thing I can talk about, I guess, is that the markers don't bleed through a lot, and they also work just as good as Ohuhu markers in my opinion. Like, I can't see a difference in quality. In fact, like, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I feel like these actually work better a bit. Like, they're juicier. Even the light colors aren't dry. Like, some Ohuhu markers, for some reason, the light colors are just a little bit drier. But yeah, I really had fun with these markers, especially the fact that it was like a color theme already picked out for me. Like the fact that it was a set of colors, I feel like they all just went well together by default. And this is one thing I really appreciate about ARRTX, the fact that they have color sets like blues and reds and whatnot on their website. I think that's just really clever because you can build a custom collection of just stuff sorted by color, if that makes sense. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was really easy to pick the colors for certain things, like the tree bark color, the sky color, which is this really nice pale yellow. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Anyways, moving on. I start using the colored pencils in this part. I decided to not color first when it came to the character, just so then I could make sure that none of the details are lost. So with the background, I actually completely forgot to mention, I didn't line first like I usually would. I just went in with the color straight away, which was nice. But for the character specifically, I started with the line art. But yeah, the colored pencils were really nice to use. They were very pigmented, but then they also got to a very fine point and they wouldn't crack. So the one drawback with these colored pencils is because they're a little bit softer core than other brands like Magic Fly, they didn't come to an extremely sharp point. Or like they did, but then the point would dull a little bit faster than I'm used to. But compared to Prismacolors, the lead does not break as often. In fact, I don't think I had a single lead crack in this entire process. And also, like, when I sharpened it, like, I didn't use up a crazy amount of any one color. So that was pretty nice to see. Also, from my brief experience with them, they seem to blend really nicely together. And the variety is amazing as well. So there's a lot of browns to choose from, which is my favorite color to line with. And there's also a lot of like earth greens, and yeah, I just really enjoyed the color selection, to be honest. So if you're looking for a cheap Prismacolor alternative, I would recommend these over Magic Fly colored pencils, which I made a video for last summer. So yeah, highly recommend these colored pencils. And I also highly recommend the markers. If you're looking for a cheap marker brand, alternative to Copics and even Ohuhu markers, ARRTX is the way to go in my opinion. I just love their sets, the color selection, the quality. The only drawback in my opinion for the markers is the fact that they're a little lighter and the plastic is a lot cheaper than the Ohuhu marker plastic. But that's not really a huge deal in my opinion. I personally don't mind it, and yeah, honestly, the important part for me personally with markers is that they work correctly and that the colors are great, and that's the case with these markers, so I have no complaints. Now, personally, my style with markers is a lot simpler than my style with watercolors and gouache, if that makes sense. So I don't do heavy blending and dramatic lighting with markers most of the time. So I'm really happy with how this piece turned out. Like, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying my style with markers is a lot simpler than the style of other artists that I've seen here on YouTube. So maybe I'm not the best person to judge how well the markers blend, but I don't know. I think they're pretty good. Like, they work the same way that Ohuhu's work for me. Same thing with the pencils, to be honest. I feel like I need to make a piece just with the colored pencils on their own and really test the blending of them. So I might do that in a future video and give a little update. Anyways, here's where I spontaneously changed the color scheme for the character. And I'm really happy I did this. Like, I actually love how the new color scheme ended up. The poncho, I made like a dark green, and then I made the overalls underneath a light green, but it's not really showing that well on camera. Also, I changed her sweater underneath to a light beige. So, yeah. Anyways, here's a little interruption with Zeekoo, my cat. He was feeling really clingy because I was the only person at home during the long weekend. Now, don't feel sorry for him. He's honestly a spoiled brat and with separation anxiety. But yeah, I basically had to hold him there on my lap, supporting his head like a newborn baby, and color with my other hand. So that was ridiculous, but necessary because Zeekoo comes first on this channel. Here I am back coloring the character. Yeah, just finishing up the poncho color, which I really love. I love the dark green. I think it looks really cool. And darkening the hat, not darkening. Okay, yeah, darkening the hat here. Yeah. Also, at this point, I think it's important to note that I had 90% of the colors splayed across my desk. So I wasn't even using the marker holder. I was just taking every color out and just, yeah. I also keep switching back to the previous page to see the color sheet, which in hindsight, it was kind of stupid gluing the color sheet to that page, but it looks cute, so I don't regret it. Also, I kind of almost memorized all the colors. So like I know 41 is the olive green that I really like, 49 is this really light green, 103 is this rose brown, and so on, I think. 33 and 44 were like the straw colors, and yeah, I pretty much memorized all the colors. Also, 36 is actually a really light yellow that I think I used for the entire sky, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I add a third leaf, and after that, this whole journey was complete. Here is the final thoughts section, which is the last section for this video, and I'll just let past me babble at you for a bit. Okay, so it's finally done, like completely done. I'm not gonna touch it anymore. My desk is a mess though, so I'll clean that up and then we can do the outro. Okay, so here is the final artwork for today's character design video. I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out, and I'm so glad I changed like the colors of her outfit. I feel like that really made me like the character more. But yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed using these art supplies, designing a new character, and at the moment, I do not feel like drawing this character again. But I'm thinking that's just because I just spent like several hours on this artwork. This took so long. I did not expect it to take this long. But yeah, here's the previous page, just like the brainstorming and stuff. I definitely want to draw her in her regular outfit with her hair and whatnot, with like these markers and stuff. But I didn't have time this video. Like, I have to end this video here. So yeah, overall, I really like how this piece turned out. And I had a lot of fun with this character design. I feel like it's a nice start to this series. So if you guys have any prompt ideas for like the next character design video, I would love to hear them. I feel like it would be nice to get some ideas from YouTube, like here in the comment section and whatnot, instead of like just relying on Instagram ask question things. So I'm not really sure when the next character design video will be out, but I will look at all the suggestions. I hate that word. Like, I always have to slow down when saying it. Yeah, I'll look at all of those, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to be starting this series, and I feel like we're off to a nice start. I'm pretty happy with this character. Now, what was I gonna say? Something else. Oh yeah, I would like to give just a huge thank you to ARRTX for sending me these two supplies. I love these supplies. Like, I cannot stress that enough. These markers were so fun to use, and I actually love the fact that it's like a set of like a specific color theme. Like, I don't think I would get a generic color set, like the one that comes with like the whole rainbow from them. I just really love their color themes. I think I want to build a collection of their, just like the blues and the reds and the yellows and whatnot. This was so fun to use. I had a blast. And these colored pencils are actually really good. I like them better than the Magic Fly colored pencils, which I made a kind of review for earlier last summer, I think. Actually, wait, it was late last summer, yeah. One of the main things I like about the colored pencils is the setup. This is just such a clever design. I don't know if they invented it or not. I don't care. Like, during the whole process, it wasn't showing on camera, but I would just take a color, use it, put it aside, or sometimes I would just directly put it back, you know? And even though the colors, so like for example, if you take out 3 at the same time because you're lining a lot of stuff, sometimes it goes down like this, but you always know which color goes where because it just pushes back, you know? It's not like they're sliding into the other color spots. But yeah, it was like such a pleasure using these colored pencils. So, and the markers, of course. Anyways, here's the bleed through. As you can see, there's bleed through, but that happens, that's the paper, not the markers specifically. I had a protective sheet here, thankfully. I can take that out now. Anyways, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Also, if you guys want to make your own Scarecrow characters or redraw my character over here, feel free to tag me. Like, spam me on Instagram if I don't respond. I love to see people's fan art. It honestly makes my day. Not just fan art though, but like any art. Any art related to like the video and whatnot. Love to see it. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video, whenever that happens to come out. Bye!